let's look at the third section of Judy now. Start by looking at that little sequence there, and then we're going to move on to the very end a little later on where we're playing our D chord. By the way, it's really humid here today, so my guitar is really cranky. So if I go out of tune, I am sorry about that. I have pretty much given up trying to fine tune it because it just will not cooperate with me. But hopefully it doesn't go completely out of tune during this video. So this part of the song has a repeating right hand phrase. So what I thought we'd do is to just start looking at how to build this pattern, which is going to stay the same. You're going to be playing the same strings in the same order, and the only thing that's changing are the chords underneath. So we can start by looking at this pattern over an A minor chord. And what I'm playing here is the 5th string, the 2nd, and the 1st string. And then I'm plucking the 4th and the 3rd strings. Next, the 5th string again. And then the 2nd and 1st strings again. And then to finish one repetition of this pattern, I'm plucking the 5th and the 3rd string. So it's and this will stay the same. Change. And what you get is a really nice counterpoint melody between these ringing high strings and the notes that we play in between. But these notes have to ring. So it's really important to keep this high E string ringing. And this brings us to the chords, and the first chord, which is the trickiest one to get down, which is this one. The easy part of this chord is I have my 2nd finger here on the A string on the 3rd fret, and I have my pinky on the 2nd string on the 5th fret. Unfortunately, we also need 2 notes here on the 4th and 3rd string on the 2nd fret. We need those at the same time that we have our open string, open 1st string. So that means that we can't do a full bar chord here because that does not sound good. So what you need to do is a partial bar chord, where I'm barring here on the, basically from the 5th string down to the 3rd string, but I'm keeping this high E string open. And the way to do that, if you look at my finger here, I'm not completely flat like I would be if I was doing just a regular bar chord. Instead, my finger is pretty much collapsing at the 1st joint here. So you need to work a little bit on this if you haven't done it before. Just collapsing this knuckle here, and then keeping this 1st string ringing. That's our first chord, and it's the trickiest one. You just play our regular pattern over that. Then you can just take the 1st finger off and slide this whole shape down. So that on the 5th string on the 2nd fret, and we have our pinky here on the B string, 2nd string, on the 3rd fret. Just repeat our pattern here. Then a regular A minor chord, and then back to this basically G shape here. So that's one repetition of this pattern. So John repeats this several times, and he also plays around with his dynamics by playing closer to the sound hole or further away from the sound hole, and playing softly or a little more loudly. And you can listen to a recording to get the exact number of times. Then when it's time to go back into the other part of the song, he plays. So at the end of this 3rd section, we start out on our regular chord, but now we go to a D chord. Now I find it most comfortable to play this with my 2nd and 4th finger just sliding up, but you can also play it with your 3rd finger. But you will need this 1st finger here a little later on. So this is a D chord here, but we're only fretting the 3rd string on the 2nd fret, and then we're fretting the 2nd string at the 3rd fret. And the pattern here is pretty much the same as what we're playing earlier, but we're playing the 4th string and the 2nd and 1st string, then plucking the 3rd string. So we're playing, and then the 4th string again, string, and then the 2nd and 1st string, and then the 4th and the 3rd. So that's one repetition of this pattern. And now the only thing that changes is this bass note on the 4th string. So our 1st finger comes down and frets the 4th string on 2nd fret. We play the exact same pattern, so it's and now to finish off, these 2 fingers on the 2nd fret just stay where they are, and then our finger comes off the 2nd string. And then we play again the 4th, the 2nd and the 1st string, and then the open 2nd string, but then we play the low E. We repeat these 2 open strings here. Then we go to an E. And I'm only playing the 3rd and the 4th string here. So this whole section slowly. And this goes directly into B section, which we have already looked at. So this whole part, I'm just going to play each of these sections slowly once through. That is the C section.